Wait, don't click on something else. You are on Renovating a House in Switzerland. It's just we're not actually in the house at the moment. We decided to do a bit of a talk about it first.
Hello, I'm Karen and this is Richard. We found this property around about, what, 5 years ago was it?
Yeah.
And we love this area, we love the Jura, and that's why we're showing you this beautiful location where we're just walking on Montundra. And we found this little property that really needed renovation, and to be honest, it was all we could afford in Switzerland, so we embarked on buying it, and through the whole process of trying to get a mortgage, because it was an agricultural building, it wasn't fit for habitation apart from a little part of it.
Though it is in the centre of the village, isn't it?
Yes,
it was like a sort of a old farmer's barn, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's sort of split into three, and we'll show you pictures of it shortly.
So this is the front of the house. As you can see, the left hand side is the apartment, that's where we currently live. The middle and the right hand side are what has to be totally renovated to make it livable.
It had a little apartment, so it was great because we could move into it while Richard was going to renovate it. But that was 5 years ago. We completed on the house in September 2015, but then the apartment part of it had some tenants in, so we had to give them a year's notice for them to leave. So once they left, then we had to get planning permission. So, and we had to change it, as I said, from agricultural to habitation. So all that process just to get an architect and all of that malarkey. And we
had to get an architect, didn't we? Because it's a university canton. They wouldn't let us do the plans ourselves. Do you remember, Karen?
Yeah.
And I suppose because we're changing the exterior, we have to get an architect.
Yeah, so it was necessary to get an architect. Yeah. So we've got an architect. It took us a year to get just what we wanted. I'll be on the road now. Yeah. Just to get what we wanted for the house. The house is attached on 3 sides. It's got no land, so it's not our ideal home. But as I said, it's all we could afford. So eventually, we got the plans that we wanted sorted, and then we had to apply for the planning permission. So I think our planning permission came through back in, was it like 2018?
Just after Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that took a while. But in the meantime, you know, we've been doing a few bits and bobs around the place. But really, we started in earnest about 8 months ago. It was last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what we want to share with you is the trials and tribulations, all the pitfalls, all the unexpected expenses that we've had to go through, the ridiculousness of some of the bureaucracy, in the hope that if any of you out there are looking to renovate a place in Switzerland, we can give you maybe a head start on all the things.
This is Vaud, isn't it? The French-speaking canton.
The canton of Vaud. We can maybe give you a bit of the lowdown on what it takes, like some odd forms of tax. We get tax bills through for the renovation. Why? Anyway, so all that exciting stuff. So Richard's going to share that with you as he goes through each of the parts of the renovation, and hopefully you'll find it informative and entertaining.
Yeah, and we're sort of going to do it on a time lapse. Most of it's going to be time lapse, and when I get to an interesting point, I'll stop the time lapse and maybe get the GoPro out and try and do a bit of detail on the interesting points or anything we find a bit strange.
Okay, so we look forward to speaking with you soon.
Right, this morning's task, I'm just going to concrete this this foundation to take the wall, so I can get rid of these and take the pressure off those, because the random rubble wall really has bad joint work. I think it was done before they had cement, so it's just like a lime mix. It's quite sandy, and I would guess these go through to next door. There's a house next door and they might carry their floor, so I'm going to try and stabilise these by encasing them in a block wall here. So I've got bars that go in, 12mm bars that go in every 35, and they're resined in, so I'll get on with that. I'm just drilling some holes in the wall here for the 14mm rebar to go in, which has been resined into the wall at 50 centimetres, I think, just for the foundation. I'm just about to put the chalk lines on the wall, which will represent where all of my wall ties go every 2 course. I've just cleared the holes out, the drill holes. Now I'm just about to cut the steels, and I'll start resining the 8mm rebar into the wall. So the wall ties have gone in at 50 centimetre horizontally centres and 40 centimetres vertically centres, which is 2 course in Europe. For any bricklayers watching from UK or from America, you'll notice the blocks aren't being jointed, they're being dry butted. This is the type of blocks they have here. You have to fill them up after there's sort of a U section in between that you fill up after you've done each course. So they are being jointed, just not the way you probably used to. Right, update at this point at where we are. You've just seen that wall go up with those granite nodes that hold those short beams that ultimately hold the floor. Well, if you can see that beam up there, I'm not sure if the GoPro will pick it up, but it's pretty warped in the middle, probably about by 6 inches. But that's got to stay, that holds the next floor, but it needs to be supported, and those T-pieces somebody's putting temporary underneath come straight down onto these rotten beams here that stick on these granite nodes, but it's out of line. So if we go over here, you'll see the block wall that's just gone up. That represents plumb to the beam that comes down there. So the next step is So this plumb line here represents where the block wall is below. So you can see how much the stone walls are, the plumb, it's phenomenal. So these have to come out. These have to come out so I can take this floor away and continue with the block wall. The block wall stop here with a concrete head on with rebar in, which will take the load of all this when I re-put it back up. This will all be done in studding, so the masonry wall will end at the floor there, so I can keep the thermal envelope in the floor and up this wall. Downstairs is a garage stroke garden room, so it's not a heated space, so that doesn't really matter. So today I'm going to finish getting the scaffold up here and get those. You can see I've cast a concrete node there just behind that. That's going to have an acro that goes up, so I can put all the weight on the masonry wall, so I can get rid of these support beams here. So I'm going to do one here and one here, and put some strapping around there, 2.5 ton strapping to take the load onto the masonry wall, and then I can get rid of these and get this floor up down here. So I'll carry on with that. Okay, I'll just stop at this point and do a bit of an update and a bit of detail. There you can go, you've seen that on the time lapse. So there's the concrete node that was cast into the wall with 16mm rebar and resin, and then there's an acro on top of that that's going up, so the load from the purling's being transferred straight down onto the masonry there at somewhat of an angle, and I've got the remainder of it strapped up. You can see that beam's pretty rotten, isn't it? The engineer wants me to keep that, but I'm not too keen on that idea, but we'll see as we go. Not sure. Right, just stop at this point now for a bit of an update. Didn't go too bad. So then, now nicely transferred onto the masonry with those ratchet straps, 5,000 kilogram ratchet straps, which is probably stronger than it was when it's actually transferred down here, because all these floor joists are all like sponge, they're that rotten, so there would have been no compressive strength there whatsoever. So I'm quite happy with that. So if we go over here, you can see as I come along how out of a line the original stone wall is, and those granite nodes. You can see the 10cm block wall I've built down there, and the plumb line coming straight up here, so it's quite a ways away from the original bit there. So I have to cast a concrete toe on top of that with rebars in the wall to stabilise it all, and it should be okay, and it's dead in line with this. So then we should be able to put some proper studding under all that to hold that beam up. So that's it for the first video. I'll try and get a video up every week if possible, if I've got enough stuff. Great to finally be getting rid of that horrible rotten floor.